Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Cobb, and you're listening to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Social Suplex Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
And thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. My name is Clive and I'm joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Ricky. Good evening, Ricky, and how are you tonight?
Yeah, good evening.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. Before we get started, I just want to say it was Clive's birthday yesterday. A happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And long may you continue to bless everyone with your 205 columns and your podcast.
You went against something that you said you would never do?
I know, I said I wouldn't put you over, but I just did, so hey-ho.
Before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to go to powerslam.tv, put in the promo code Social Suplex, where you can get 3 months worth of over 4,000 hours of independent wrestling from around this planet that we live on today. So get yourself there. Don't forget also to check out Pro Wrestling Tees, where Social Suplex have a couple of t-shirts up with the network logo, and I believe some individual podcast logos will be following in the fullness of time. Exciting times at the network, Ricky.
Yeah, I'm going to buy every single Rick and Clive t-shirt on it just to sell it out.
Are you going to stand out in the streets at a market stall somewhere?
No, I'll just buy them because I'm such a mark for us to.
So it's going to be a busy show tonight. Obviously, we have Royal Rumble and the NXT Takeover Phoenix show coming up this Saturday and Sunday. So we're just going to go with a pretty basic format this week. We'll go through both the nights' cards, give our previews on how they've been built, what we expect to happen during and after the matches, and we're going to bring back the predictions league that we did way back when, and some fool managed to forget to delete the table that we had with all the scores and stuff, so it's a fresh start. I think I was winning though.
If you say so.
Aye. Right. Will we start with NXT Takeover and Phoenix then?
Yep.
First match that I have here, this is a list, I'm not going to lie, I stole this list straight from Rob Ropey himself, who's got a private predictions league. So if the listing seems familiar, Rob, then thank you.
Which we're a part of that league.
We are. First off is the NXT North American Championship between Ricochet and Johnny Gargano. This is one of those ones where you just look at the card for TakeOver, and yet again, almost all across the board, they've just knocked it out the park, and we have a contender already for match of the weekend. Would you agree?
Most definitely. I think I went with Ricochet in that predictions, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to change it. I feel like if Gargano isn't going to come up yet, so if he loses, then where does he go? That's 2 big high-profile feuds in a row that he'd have lost. Well, 3 really, actually. So I feel like Gargano will win, mainly because I think Ricochet, we may start to position Ricochet maybe towards the title scene, but more than anything I feel like if Gargano doesn't win, I'm not entirely sure where he would go from here.
Right.
Like I say, it's difficult to really pick which match is going to stand out on any takeover, and which, especially this weekend with the amount of great matches you've got. I mean, and this has also got the potential to be match of the weekend. Gargano just seems to put in like 10 out of 10 type matches at takeover. I'm expecting no different here. But like I said, I'm leaning more so to Gargano winning. Because like I said, I can see a scenario where Ricochet loses where he can ultimately move on and do something else and still kind of be a focal point of the show. And Gargano will be no matter what because of how great of a wrestler he is. But I just feel like kayfabe and character-wise and storyline, etc., where does he then go from here if he was to lose?
Gargano?
Yes.
I feel the same way. I mean, Ricochet has had this title since SummerSlam. He's not done much in the way of defending it because we had the War Games there and there's been the odd TV title defence, but it's not been the most glorious of championship reigns so far. So I'm wondering if you're right where they've probably got something else planned for Ricochet, and the way things are going for Gargano, there's this on-again, off-again relationship with Tommaso Ciampa at the moment. Unsure how that's going to play out. Gargano seems to be of the mindset that he still doesn't want anything to do with Ciampa. I'm not sure that's necessarily true. He says one thing and does the other. He's actually... It took a while to get used to it, but I've quite enjoyed his heel work of late, where he's saying bad things, he's saying villainous things, but he still thinks he's a hero. And you're getting all the grown-ups at Full Sail booing him. Well, some of them, not all of them. But you've got the kids that still got the Johnny Wrestling signs and he's giving them high fives. So it's a typical heel where he's deluded and he thinks he's in the right, even though he's committing heinous acts all over the place.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's like your classic kind of heel.
Uh-huh.
And it was kind of similar to the way we spoke about Becky not long after her SummerSlam sort of heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that sentiment.
And I think with the kids back on his side still, I think it would make sense for him to win the title and then come out with the same sort of stuff that he has been saying and just make out as if he's going to say maybe they'll try and do something different with North American title, because so far it's not been defended as good as I would have liked to have seen it. So maybe they might do some sort of open challenge thing over the next wee while where Gargano claims to be Johnny Wrestling and out-wrestles everyone and starts taking shortcuts. I don't know, but it kind of ties in with what I think will happen in the NXT title match as well, but we'll get to that when we come to it. So are we both going for a Gargano victory here?
Yeah, I'm going Gargano, and I think just to touch on the North American title reign, I guess winning at SummerSlam and then the next takeover, like where you could possibly defend it, was obviously War Games. But because of how high profile of a wrestler Ricochet is, he was involved in the War Games match. You can almost forgive them in a sense because he's not defended it. It's not been that relevant, and this is the first real sort of high profile opportunity they've got.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could argue maybe you could have put someone else in that War Games match, but you know, that's if and what, etc. But yeah, I do agree it's kind of been lacklustre, the title reign. I think you could probably count there's only been a handful of defences. Like I says, I believe like Ricochet will lose the title before eventually maybe moving on to take on Tommaso Ciampa around about WrestleMania time. Potentially at the WrestleMania takeover.
I think it would make sense. To me, that would suggest a possible Aleister Black call-up. I don't know, but see, the thing is, Aleister Black's, even though he's not the very top main guy on NXT, he's still very much over, and he's still a firm favourite with myself as well, but the Full Sail crowds lap him up. At the same time, I'll just may as well move on to this match since we're talking about it. I still don't see Ciampa letting go of the title just yet.
Neither do I, and I don't think it's completely out the realm of possibility that Johnny Gargano gets involved.
Alright.
Whether he intentionally cost Aleister Black the title or whether he unintentionally, or just gets involved. I don't know, and ultimately leads to Ciampa winning. I wouldn't be surprised if these two come together and join forces again. I'd actually kind of like to see a closing image of Takeover with Gargano and Ciampa side by side, holding their titles aloft. I'd kind of like to see that.
Yeah, it would be a two-man power trip of NXT, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And if they were doing their signature turnbuckle poses with the titles, that would be quite interesting.
Yeah. But I do agree with you. I don't think there's... Aleister Black isn't quite where the likes of Gargano, Ciampa, and I guess to a lesser extent maybe someone like Ricochet and Dream. I feel like he isn't like on that upper tier. If he is, he's probably the lower half of it, the lower end of it. And I also wouldn't be surprised if he turns up at the Royal Rumble. I expect to see him in Raw, SmackDown at some point in the next couple of months as well. So my pick is Tommaso Ciampa. I say that with a lot of confidence. I don't see Aleister Black winning this at all.
Yeah, I think this will end up being, as you say, the Gargano and the DIY show. This will be hashtag DIY all over again. The thing with Black, it kind of falls under the radar ever so slightly, and Ciampa has said numerous times now that Aleister Black hasn't been in a main event of a takeover, and I wonder if that's why people don't. It's just I wouldn't say it's fact, but it seems to me like Black's not in the conversation as much as he should be for one of the best that NXT have got going at the moment. I know he had the injury for quite a chunk of the summer there, but his match at the Royal Rumble takeover last year against Adam Cole, the excellent match against Almas, then he came back for the War Games pay-per-view match. I mean, I know that's only 3, but that's still 3 absolute corkers right there.
Well, you remember the match he was having with Tommaso Ciampa as well, when Ciampa beat him for the title as well.
I forgot about Lars Sullivan, but the less said about that one, the better, I think.
So I do agree. I don't know if he's underappreciated, undervalued, or just kind of forgotten about, but he doesn't get as much fanfare as some other people. But yeah, I'm a big fan of his. But like I say, I think his chance of winning the title are slim to none. And it's just kind of giving you closure on this storyline and his sort of attempt at redemption and attempt to win this the title back.
Aye. Hopefully, I mean, I still think it's going to be a cracking match. I said about the NA match that it's a possible match of the weekend, but looking all up and down both nights of wrestling, it's going to be a hard pitch. If it all goes down well, as it seems on paper, then it's going to be some top-notch wrestling on offer. So I think it's going to be a lot harder to pick outright match of the weekend contenders this time. I think Ciampa and Black might be up there because, apart from, I'll take Sullivan out of the equation, both Ciampa and Black have had excellent years in the ring.
Mm-hmm. And I think, just to touch on how many great matches we've got, I think overall we're going to be pleased, but at the same time I'm kind of expecting 1 or 2 matches to kind of let us down.
Possibly.
Well, like I say, the takeover format itself, it's worked before, it's worked in the past, it's going to continue working. This match, I think, like I say, the match they had on normal NXT TV was a really, really good match. So I've got no real reason to not believe that this also won't be a good match in a few days' time.
There is a match on NXT that I'm not too sure will be as great as people think it will be, and that is Shayna Baszler versus Bianca Belair for the NXT Women's Championship. I say that, right? Shayna Baszler's top notch, like the best one they've had for a long time, at the top of the food chain, and Bianca Belair's had an astonishing year. She's just grown, she's really popular, regardless of this overrated shite that's going about just now. Excellent in the ring, she oozes confidence, but whenever Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke get involved, I'm taken out of it a wee bit. There's something, they're not there in terms of what it's to be a quote unquote a WWE superstar. They seem very awkward to me very robotic and laboured, and they just don't seem comfortable in a sort of performing mindset. Do you ever get that with them at all?
Yeah, I can see what you mean. In that little snippet we got of them last week, when Bianca, she slapped Shayna, and then hit a move on one of them and get out. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but like I say, as another group chat earlier on, I think this is the match that I'm most excited about for the entire weekend. Like you said, Bianca Belair, for 12 months or so, has just been on an unbelievable rise. And to quote Daniel Bryan, quite a lot of people, the fans, are really fickle when they start shouting at her overrated. It's just absolute nonsense. You know how just a lot of fans have got a habit of just turning on certain people for no reason whatsoever. Like people have started doing it with Becky, people have started doing it with Bianca Belair. So, and I think, like you said, Shayna is arguably the greatest one they've had. Like, she's certainly in that conversation.
Yes.
She, alongside Charlotte, could well be my favourite female wrestler. I'm going to go Bianca Belair to win.
Oh, shocked! I'm absolutely shocked. I am, honestly.
I mean, I actually think I went Shayna at another prediction, but I'm going to change it and I'm going to go Bianca. I think.
To me, this screams Bianca Belair will come short, most probably due to outside interference from two of the horsewomen, and it will be a rematch at New Jersey in April. So I'm going to go with Bianca. I'm not going to go with Bianca Belair. I'm going to go with Bianca Belair when it comes to WrestleMania weekend. But just for this weekend coming up, I just don't think anyone's going to get past Shayna Baszler in the time being. So that's it. Baszler is my official pick for the NXT Women's match. Keeping with the titles matches, we'll go for Undisputed Era versus War Raiders for the NXT Tag Team titles. This is an intriguing one, this one. I'm not sure what to think of it in terms of a prediction. I think it will be an excellent match because, as we've discussed many times, Undisputed Era were the common denominator in all those Match of the Year candidates for NXT in pay-per-views as well as on TV. They hardly put a foot wrong the whole year. There's been just an absolute joy to watch, and the War Raiders had a standout performance in the War Games match itself. As far as I'm aware, both guys were pretty knocked up, legitimately injured, ruptured spleens and all sorts over the last couple of weeks or months, but they're back, so I've got very high hopes for this match. Yourself?
I agree, and I'm going to go Undisputed Era. Not a clean victory. I expect Adam Cole or someone to get involved, and I could see them maybe running the rematch again, maybe at WrestleMania when the War Raiders win it.
Right.
I just feel like Undisputed Era at this moment in time are just kind of like cream of the crop when it comes to that division. I wouldn't want to take the titles off them just yet. I feel like maybe this storyline, and certainly Undisputed Era having the tag titles has more legs and more mileage to it. So yeah, my official pick is Undisputed Era.
Okay.
I feel confident. I don't think I'll be changing that pick. Like I say, I do like the War Raiders. I do. I expect this to be a good fun match. But like I said, I expect some sort of outside interference
from Cole
to play a part.
And Fish.
One of them, if not both.
You know what? You've got that frame of mind that I have for the women's match, where they'll do the rematch without any possibility for interference or whatever at the Mania weekend. So I think for this one I'm going to go with War Raiders. I think it's time to change things up a wee bit in the tag team scene. I was on the Implications podcast last week, and we're talking about the NXT tag scene. Right, fair, it's true. A lot of the tag team matches at the takeovers have been stupendous. A lot of them have. But see, apart from Undisputed Era versus Challenger of the Month, you've not really got many credible options that you would see as winning the title coming forward. I mean, you've got the Street Profits. They're not exactly... Like, if I showed you all the Street Profits stuff, would you say to me, yeah, they're legitimate contenders to dethrone the Undisputed Era?
That's why I don't see War Raiders winning back to back. I can maybe see them. Like I said, I don't think it'd be a big deal if it did. I just feel like this storyline, like I said, has more legs to it. And if you wanted, you could maybe even take out another couple of months, but I don't think they will. I think War Raiders will lose and ultimately get the title win at WrestleMania. And then you've still got another couple of months before you build up to the next takeover where another credible opponent or team could surface.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree with you about the Street Profits.
And there was also the Heavy Machinery as well, they're on Raw now, or SmackDown. I don't actually know where they will be.
Yep.
But even though they were a good comedy act or entertaining, you wouldn't see them as championship material. No,
it would kind of be like, as much as I liked them, but it would kind of be like when the B team win it.
Uh-huh.
Like, it was a comedy, and you were always kind of like waiting for them to ultimately lose it because you never really took them seriously or felt they were like a credible tag team, a legitimate team that could beat other bona fide legitimate teams. So I would agree with that.
See, bizarrely enough, I could see Heavy Machinery with titles on Raw more than I can NXT, considering how basically laughable the Raw tag team scene has been.
Yep.
Since Mania, basically.
Maybe, a good. And
then Nick Miller was... I don't know if Nick Miller was released or not, but that's a tag team that's broken up. TM61, the Mighty, Don't Kneel or whatever it is. And then you've got Humberto Carrillo, who's moved over to 205 Live. He was doing a couple of tag matches with Raul Mendoza. They had a couple of matches. They were decent matches. So all you've got left for me, apart from the Wall Raiders, is Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. And from what I'm led to believe, they might be more of a prominent feature in the UK brand. So what have you got left for tag team scene division in NXT Florida? Not much.
Not much, which is why I think this feud will last a little bit longer than maybe expected, just to kind of produce another credible opponent.
See, I don't want to just pick the same as you all the time, though. And I agree with you, but I don't want to pick the same thing.
Well, we've got one change with one different opinion, so...
Right, okay, I'm going to change it to Undisputed Era because you speak some truth there, my good man.
Thanks.
So Triple H, if you're listening, get your NXT Florida tag team scene a bit more fleshed out, because probably a biased opinion, but the UK tag division's pretty banging right now, so get yourself together. And
there's a man who used to wrestle on this very network that you might want to sign up as well, who's based in Florida.
Double J, John Judas. The STO Sultan himself. Right, last one on Takeover. One that I've not got much interest in at all. I'm not going to beat about the bush here.
That's because Cassius Ohno's in the match.
It's not because Cassius Ohno's in the match. It's because Matt Riddle's in the match. I tried and I tried and I tried, and I just can't get behind him yet.
Is it because he's taking on someone like Cassius Ohno? And I'm not going to shit on him, I'm just not a fan. But I feel like once you kind of get past this feud, other ones could open up. Possibly. Or will open up.
It's not even because it's Cassius Ohno. I've been quite enamoured with Cassius Ohno of late because he's turned into a bit of an arse who won't let all the fresh blood come past him. Matt Riddle...
Yeah, but that kind of like, sometimes you can talk all you want, but he's not really walk the walk, so as a gimmick or whatever they're trying to do, it's not really coming across well to me.
Okay, you're not a fan of Ono anyway, so that's fair enough.
I'm not going to shit all over him. I'm just not a fan. Mm-hmm. But I feel like once you get past this feud, you'll kind of get to see who Matt Riddle is, and once you start putting him in, and I don't want to say credible, but I would say more established stars and more, and just in general, just better guys than Ono. And I'm not trying to knock Ono, but I'm just saying there's guys on that roster who he can have great feuds and matches with.
So far, his wrestling style, I've not seen anything that I haven't already seen in WWE under all the different brands, main roster, fringe products. I have seen it before. The gimmick is, I can't go it. I can't abide a man that walks about wearing a shirt, a tie, pants and then sandals. It's not on. It's unacceptable.
But that's what's kind of an attraction to him, because even in the ring where he wears like the tightest of pants with no shoes or anything like that, that's kind of the attraction to him as well. That's like a big part of it. It was like when Rusev first came on the scene, where he all never really had the tape on his ankles, and it was really different. It's something that people can get drawn to about Riddle. And actually, I think if you can just get past the next week or whatever, I feel like you'll start to change your mind, because over time you change your mind about Ronda Rousey. Yes. I'm not saying you're a massive fan of her, but you were not a fan at all.
I can more than I can tolerate Rousey easily enough now. Yeah.
So maybe that's what's going to happen with Riddle. Riddle's winning. There's no doubt about that. It probably won't be what it was at War Games. You'll probably see like a proper match this time, hopefully, as opposed to what we saw last time.
Yeah, because you've not got the War Games gimmick match taking up almost an hour of the match, the pay-per-view, so there is room for it. I think, do you know why Riddle doesn't wear shoes?
Here we go.
It's because he hates Zach Gibson.
I like that one.
See, that one wasn't even thought out in advance. I just thought of it there. Right, so we're both going for Matt Riddle. Right, so that's Takeover done and dusted. Looking forward to it. Nevertheless, it should be an absolutely belter of a. It really will. I mean, when you look at that on paper, see just for pure work rate alone. My. Devastating. Yep. Right, Royal Rumble this Sunday on the WWE Network for just $9.99. Great value for money.
And that's $9.99. That's pounds.
Aye.
Not dollars. Because we pay more.
Us Brits are being shafted.
But we pay more.
Did you hear that, America? So I'm just going again by Mr. Rob Ropey's listing order. First off, we have the Raw Women's Title match between Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey.
Can we just talk about the two pre-show matches before we get into the main show?
Can you tell me what they are then? I'm not
Rusev,
sure.
Nakamura, and Your Baby.
Yeah, the Cruisers. I was under no illusions it would be any different.
Don't want to knock either of them, but it's the only logical matches that you can have on the pre-show, unfortunately, when you look at the entire card.
I'm totally understanding of it, because you've got two Royal Rumbles, that's 2 hours plus. You've got 2 world title matches and 2 women's title matches.
Yep, and the tag team title matches with the boss's son involved, so...
it's fine, I've not got any issue with that. I was already under the impression it would happen. Can I just say, triple threat on 205 Live this week between the challengers to Mr. Buddy Murphy, Kalisto, Tozawa and Itami, put on a hell of a show, and what we saw, Itami was the strongest force out of all 3 of them, and he was quite dominant and quite brutal, as he always is, but I think, I'm going to just give you my prediction, I think Murphy will retain. And,
I agree.
And he's shown in recent weeks, he didn't cheat, but he played dirty to defeat Carrillo last week, and he sort of got involved in the triple threat this week, took advantage of the no DQ rules of a triple threat match. I think Murphy's character confidence is starting to wane a wee bit, and Itami's going to home in on that, and it could be a sort of a slow face turn for Itami, where he's just such a good evil badass that people just naturally root for him. So I'm going to go for Murphy on this occasion, and you are as well, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't expect him to drop the title until WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Nakamura and Rusev for the United States Championship match.
I mean, the title itself is kind of an afterthought. The match they had, what was it, like 4 weeks ago, whatever it was, on SmackDown was actually a really good match. I expect another good match. Rusev retains. Yeah, like I said, the title itself, like I said, an afterthought. I feel like that's kind of perfect way to sum it up.
Mm-hmm. Rusev,
yeah, I don't see anything other than a Rusev win, to be honest.
Rusev himself said in a promo he didn't care that he was a United. He wasn't a US champ. He was a husband, and they're doing the whole thing with Nakamura. The stramash that occurred, which resulted in Lana being written off TV. So Rusev was more concerned about getting retribution or revenge or whatever you want to call it against Nakamura. It just so happens that the US title's on the line as well.
But, and that could swing either way. That could ultimately lead to Rusev kind of being DQ'd because he takes it too far, or he completely takes his eye off the ball and he's only concerned of like hurting Nakamura, or Nakamura end up winning the title. But like I said, I'd be really surprised if we put the title back on Nakamura.
Uh-huh.
Again, I expect Rusev maybe to drop it around about WrestleMania time, but it should be a fun match, should be a good match. But I'm going to go Rusev for the win.
Okay. I have went for Rusev as well. I don't think they'll change it back so quickly. It's hardly been any time at all that Rusev's had it. It was actually... I'm fucking playing into the meme here. It was on Rusev Day that he won the title, wasn't it?
Yep.
Christmas Day for people who aren't Rusev marks. So it's not been that long. It will just be over a month. I don't think it would be right to have it go back onto Nakamura, so I'm sticking with Rusev. Right, on to the main roster then.
Yep.
The main show, sorry. Raw Women's title match, Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey. I think at the end of the day, Rousey will retain. It's too close to WrestleMania for someone who's had a lot of the build, a lot of the even media attention and stuff like that. I can't see anything changing. So I'm going to stick with Ronda Rousey for the prediction, but what are your thoughts about the match in general? What about the builds and stuff like that?
Sorry, what about the what?
The build leading up to
it. The build has been fine, I suppose. You kind of get Ronda making a mess at sometimes with her promos and stuff, and the way she says things. It was brilliant. It was excellent to see Sasha getting the title shot.
Yes.
I don't think she wins it. Ronda retains as my official pick. The match itself, I think, can be a really good match. Ronda's had a lot of good matches in the last sort of 6 months, ever since she debuted. I feel like the way, the way Sasha escaped the armbar on Monday.
Yes, she gave a good account of herself when it comes to countering Ronda.
And I feel like at least they've sown that little bit of doubt in Ronda's mind and sort of put in our mind that Sasha's capable of getting out of this and actually beating Ronda. So they're actually trying to add a little bit more intrigue into the match and make Ronda look more vulnerable at the same time building Sasha up. Nah, but I mean, bottom line is I fully expect Ronda to retain.
Mm-hmm.
I am still a big fan of Sasha, but I feel like they're going to ultimately transition her into the tag titles with Bayley. But yeah, let's say the match itself, all three, we'll touch on a SmackDown match, but all three women's match from this weekend have the potential to be just unbelievable. But yeah, Ronda wins. There's no real doubt in my mind about that.
I think I'm a wee bit feared for what could happen in this match. Both women have been very passionate in their promos. Whether those promos have come across as how they wanted them to sound, that's a different matter. Obviously, Ronda came out with some crazy stuff this week, talking about chopping off hair and stuff like that. So they're both passionate, and Sasha especially wears her heart on her sleeve. But I just think sometimes, I was saying to you earlier, I think she tries too hard to do the fancy stuff, and she forgets to do the basic stuff at times, because we've talked about it briefly before. Now and again she does glaring basic moves, she just botches them. And I still think there's a confidence issue with her. Maybe it could be restored with a high-profile match like this, and I'm hoping that is the case, because we've seen Sasha Banks in NXT in 2015 versus Charlotte in 2016. She's, on her day, arguably the best in the company. So I hope she returns this Sunday.
Yeah, I think that could just be kind of overcompensating for trying too hard and trying to impress, etc. But how many botches are we going to see this Sunday? I'll give you the over under at 3.
Would it right? I'm not I know of betting, but what does over under at 3 mean?
Like, do you take under 3 or more than 3?
From Sasha alone? Under 3.
I think the match could be really good, and I am a fan, and we're just having a bit of fun when it comes to that, but she has botched several times. But she is still on her day, as you say, more than capable of putting on great matches and kind of being the best in that company. But, you know, I feel like on Sunday what we're going to see is Sasha running Ronda close, but ultimately tapping out to Ronda. Yep. There'll be a few sort of hairy moments for Ronda to overcome, and I feel like that's why they kind of had Sasha escape from the armbar this past Monday.
And she transitioned into, was it Natalia that she gave the bank statement to?
Yeah.
Very good bank statement transition there.
And the other thing is, even though you could say what you want, that was technically Ronda's first official loss.
Technically, aye, but
although I'm not entirely sure, because I can't remember who did Alexa Bliss attack when she cashed in. Did she toss Ronda out of the ring?
I can't remember, but does that not still count?
No, that still means Ronda wins. I can't remember. I was just trying to think out there. But yeah, it's technically it is for her first defeat.
I'm sure Ronda still won that match at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, because if Alexa comes in and attacks her,
no, she didn't.
Nia Jax gets disqualified. I just can't remember who Alexa attacked.
Ronda couldn't have won because it was a title match, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Black hole for that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying was Nia Jax was a champ, Ronda Rousey was challenger. Mm-hmm. Alexa Bliss, I'm sure, came down and knocked Ronda out of the ring. So therefore, that initial match ends in a DQ for Ronda to win, and then there's a new match. But anyway, this past Monday, you say what you want, it was still her first official loss in WWE. And again, I know people are saying, but it wasn't her to get tapped. Doesn't matter, she lost. And again, it's still it makes you buy into that Sasha's a credible threat and they're trying to portray her as that.
Part of me just thinks people are desperate to add an L to Ronda's record sheet. And okay, it is technically a loss.
Probably.
It's technically is a loss, but that didn't ruin her credibility for me, if that makes sense.
Oh.
Not even ruin the credibility isn't the right word. Put doubt into her mind. I think what put doubt into Ronda's mind was Sasha's ability to counter Ronda's judo game.
Yeah, and that's it.
And see if they stick to the judo game. If it's a Technikers match, I would be all for that, and I think that would work better than them trying to fly about the place.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So, but we're both going for Ronda Rousey there then.
Oh, definitely.
Right, next one. SmackDown Women's Title match.
Oh, yes.
Lip-smacking potential for a beast of a match here. Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Asuka currently the champion. I'll get my prediction out the way just now. I think Asuka will retain.
I agree. Purely
just to further Becky's road to WrestleMania. Sorry to have to use a Michael Coleism there, but it had to be done. It just seems to make sense that having Becky on the chase leading up to WrestleMania is more interesting than her keep. I don't actually know, because she was doing a good job defending it. Do you know what I mean? So does she seem less of a threat to you on the chase?
Becky?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Alright, okay. Fair enough.
I expect Asuka to win. I expect it to be really, really hard hitting. I'm just not sure how Asuka wins. And that's what's really intriguing.
Right.
Because I'll get into my prediction for the Rumble later.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of guess what I'm hinting at. I'm just not entirely sure how.
Well, do you want to just tie this in with the Women's Royal Rumble pick as well then?
We'll tie it in, but I expect Asuka, we'll talk about this first, I expect Asuka to win. It'll be really, really hard hitting. It makes absolutely no sense to me putting that title back on Becky.
Not now.
Because for me, all roads for Becky lead over to Raw. That she's got unfinished business over there.
I suppose it's true.
And then I think what I'll be leaving this match with questions with is who faces Asuka at WrestleMania. Because I could either go with the Charlotte rematch, but I think Charlotte's going to be maybe occupied over in Raw.
It's a shame that Asuka feels like the squeaky wheel in all this, because she does. And that is a shame, because she's a damn good wrestler, and she deserves this.
And I think all questions coming out of it is going to be all about Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Going into it, we're all kind of wondering, well, not so much, we're kind of thinking, are they going to put a title back on Becky, and if they do, how are they going to transition that to potentially facing off with Ronda Rousey? So I say Asuka kind of feels like the third wheel. I will go Asuka. I'll go for a real hard hitting match.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the build has been good. I've enjoyed what both of them have done.
Both women are very good with suplexes, and both women are very good with submissions. So I think, and they're both very good with the brawl mentality. So I think we're in for a clinic, to be honest with you.
I think we are as well.
Because regardless of how I feel about Becky Lynch's promo work and how it's getting a bit grating and stuff, and she's actually a bit of a bitch when it all boils down to it, she backs it up in the ring every single time.
To touch on it, right? Did you see the tweet she put out to Mickie James?
Yes, reminds me, something to do with...
It was something basically, well, it wouldn't be the first time you've latched on to like the star of a company or whatever, or the top person in the company, and I'm not sure. I took that as you hooked up with Nick Aldis. That's what I took that as.
Was she not going out with John Cena?
Mickie James?
Uh-huh. Did I just make that up?
Even if she was, then how is that really any different from what Thingy said, Ronda said about Nikki Bella sleeping her way to the top?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I really don't get the argument that she's a babyface. Okay, she's getting cheers, but the things that she's saying to people, she's the equivalent of someone sitting in their mum's basement tweeting out the social keyboard warrior on Twitter. She's a horrible person.
She is, and I think that sometimes what she also speaks a lot of truth as well.
She does.
And I kind of feel like she isn't like a fully fledged heel. I feel like, but she's more heel than she is a face.
I think,
but because a lot of times she just speaks a lot of truth. Like, I didn't lose that title. I wasn't pinned or whatever. I'm coming to take my title. I made this division relevant for the first time in a long time. And as much as like I said at the time, I love Carmella, like her promos and her character work and stuff like that. But you know, the women's division got interesting the moment the SummerSlam match ended, and in large part that was because of Becky and Charlotte. So she has valid points when she speaks, and like I said, a lot of the time she is speaking the truth, but at the same time she's also deleting some of the stuff that she says. Like we spoke about that classic heel who thinks she's talking sense and making sense and speaking the truth, but in reality they're not.
Like Brian as well.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that promo later.
Oh yes. But I said I'm going to go Asuka in a great match, and while we're going to tie it in,
Becky Lynch for the Rumble. See, it seems, I wouldn't even say predictable because I want it to happen. It just makes sense from a business point of view, from a storyline point of view, for Charlotte to win. Because if Charlotte doesn't win, like you were saying about Ricochet and Gargano, what does that mean for her going forward?
She could face off with Asuka in a rematch, but I will present something to you, and the listeners can think what they want. So Rance said he heard this on the radio, and I'm not sure what radio and who it was from, so I can't just give credit. He said, what if Becky wins the title, Ronda retains, Charlotte wins the Rumble, and turns around and says, I want both women in a triple threat, and you kind of unify the titles.
Which would kind of make sense because the tag titles, as far as we're led to believe, will be they're involved on both Monday and Tuesday nights. And
that theory ties into what we spoke about. Was it last week or the week before? I think it was the week before. Are the women all going to be on one show now because of these tag team titles coming? Or are they going to get their own exclusive show?
I don't know. See, if they're going to capitalise on the popularity of the women's storylines, both on Raw and SmackDown, as much as we love the network, I think it would be a backwards move to just make it exclusive to the network because you want, as I say, you want to capitalise on it.
I agree.
So either keep it on Raw, separately Raw or SmackDown, or get them see, that just sounds too much if you give them a separate show on the network. I would agree. On a network, I mean.
But you could get them all on the one show.
Maybe on Raw with the 3 hours.
And for me, if they did go down that route, if you unify the titles, all roads must lead to being on the one show. Because I don't think you can kind of have the tag team titles going over between shows in the one title, unless if, for instance, the tag team titles are being kind of in a feud on Raw, and then the women's title will be having a feud with SmackDown, and then after the month you kind of swap it over. I just feel that's too much,
too cumbersome and too formulaic for me.
Yep. So that's just, I don't know if they'll go down that route. So my pick is Becky. I think she somehow enters. I wouldn't be surprised if she attacks someone like Nia Jax, or maybe she attacks someone like Carmella backstage and takes their spot. The Nia Jax one could work because then you could have them two facing off at the Elimination Chamber or whatever the other pay-per-view.
Imagine Charlotte was coming down and Becky attacked her and took her place.
Something like that could happen, and then I could still see them turning that main event at WrestleMania into a triple threat. I still feel that's the road they're going to go down.
So I said that as a joke, but it's possible it could happen.
It's very possible it could happen.
Charlotte says, "Who do you think you are?" And they have a match at Fastlane or Chamber, whatever it is, which leads to a triple threat. See, It's
in the way you would do that is it would be like double count outs or whatever. I wouldn't get Ronda involved because it just seems stupid for Ronda to come down and interfere in the match. Or because why, in kayfabe sense, why on earth would you be willing to risk defending your title against two women as opposed to just one? So it would make, I feel like Ronda would just come across as really daft and really dumb.
See across podcasts, Twitter, columns, everywhere, see all the different possibilities that have been posited by people. They all sound good. They all sound pretty decent. So it's apart from ones where I've heard where Becky wins the match and the Rumble, it's like, oh, for God's sake, Becky stands unite. But there's so many different possibilities, different avenues that you can go down with the women on both Raw and SmackDown, that it's all sounds excellent, and it's just credit should be given to the management for writing really strong. It's only a select handful, granted, but it's excellent stuff just now, and women's wrestling is probably, I don't know if consistent's the right word, but it's the most exciting the creative has been ever.
I feel like on a SmackDown kind of side, it's certainly been it's been very consistent. And I'm going to say what I said a couple of weeks ago. You are kidding yourself if you don't think Vince McMahon was at the forefront of putting Becky Lynch front and centre of everything.
Oh, I agree with that anyway.
It's just it is like, I'm not saying he's telling her what to say, but he'll be saying you have a filter to a certain extent, but other than that, go do what you want. A
part of me thinks that some people are so behind Becky because she's this anti-authority figure, but she's been given bullet points for what to say. So she's been given this chance to be that anti-authority figure. So it's just playing into WWE's hands. It's as if it's a frack WWE, but it's all WWE's creative. Becky Lynch has been very popular, and it's one of those things that just took off, but it's not just all her doing.
And I'll also say I love Becky. I think she's great.
I love Rebecca Quinn, the wrestler and the performer, but I just can't stand her on screen because she's just insufferable. But I'm more than happy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. I think she's great. I think a lot of her stuff she's done on Twitter, social media, I think a lot of promos or in-ring work has been excellent. So, but like I say, just don't be thinking it was just all down to her. Like, I will bash Vince all day long, but at the same time, I'll give credit where credit is due. And she's also watched a few Conor McGregor videos as well.
Maybe she could watch some Father Ted ones.
And Conor McGregor watched a few Finn Balor videos as well before he became big time.
Are we just bashing Ireland here?
No, not at all. I think they're fucking great, the Irish.
Aye. Women's, I really don't know. I'm wondering if there's going to be a curveball, but I can't see it. They need to stay with the hottest acts that they've got going just now.
Like, a lot of the stuff that's going on is just quite simple to write, because all roads in my mind have to lead to some sort of combination between Becky, Ronda and Charlotte.
Right, I'm going for Charlotte Flair. I'm sticking with Charlotte Flair.
I'm just intrigued to see who else comes into the Rumble, because we're not going to get as many nostalgic acts. We're not going to get many. I don't think we'll make a handful. Generally, you always do. Kind of interested to see who comes up from. If there's going to be one or two appearances from one of the NXT roster.
Might even get a wee bit of Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm in there as well.
That was my pick in our league. I said Rhea Ripley.
I've still not completed it. I'll need to sit down and have some concentrated time on those predictions, because there's a few different ones. Like,
jeez,
that's some intense work, isn't it? And I'm off work for a week. I shouldn't have to tax my mind so much.
It's your birthday week. You're entitled to it.
Aye. So you.
By the way, I won't get to watch the Royal Rumble live, nor will I get to do what I sometimes do if I don't watch it live, where I generally take a half day from work, go sit down somewhere and watch it before going playing football.
Uh-huh.
I won't get to watch the Royal Rumble until 6 p.m. Monday night, round about then.
And why wouldn't you be able to watch it on Sunday?
I'll be going out with my other half. My other half being my wife and not you.
I'm your other third. But why are you going out with your wife?
It's my birthday.
Yes, so you're more than quick to point out when it's my birthday, but sheepishly you look down, a downward glance towards your shoes.
Because I'm not entirely bothered. I'm going to be extremely old, so...
I'm older than you, so shut it.
I know. Only by a year.
That's
going
true.
to be 32, folks. Going to be 32. Get your birthday wishes in. If you don't wish me a happy birthday, fuck you. No, so I'm kind of gutted about that, to be honest. It's not even going to be hard. It's just kind of nowadays it's just so natural just to get on my phone and just go onto Twitter or go onto WhatsApp or go onto Facebook, etc. So it's,
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
It is. I have a busy weekend as well, so I'm going to... Hopefully I'll catch TakeOver. We'll see what happens. I should be able to. Right, we'll get this tag titles match out the way. SmackDown tag team titles match. The Miz and Shane O'Mac versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, I have made a point of avoiding these segments with Shane McMahon involved. It's just, my stance on part-timers, dinosaurs, whatever you want to call them, taking up valuable spots that could go to some of the people who have rumoured to want to go to AEW and all that carry on. But I have to say, what I witnessed in this week's SmackDown was glorious. The Bar absolutely destroyed Shane McMahon, and Shane McMahon was on the receiving end of a devastating brogue kick. I hope he was checked for a concussion after that one.
That looked rough.
It did, it really did. So, it was a joy to see, but Cesaro and Sheamus, as good as they are as a tag team, they're always used at the expense of someone else's sort of nonsense angles. Not always. It just seems like that because you had Braun Strowman at the Royal Rumble. So see, because of the immense beatdown that Shane and The Miz were at the receiving end of on Tuesday there, I think they'll win the titles as a result. That whole thing where on the go-home show, whoever gets the upper hand will lose on the Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is coming into effect here. So I'm going to go for The Miz and Shane McMahon.
I'm going with that as well. I suppose the only thing I enjoy watching The Bar. I'm just not a fan of Shane. I enjoy The Miz. I guess my only thing coming out of this now is going to be leaning towards WrestleMania. Are Miz and Shane going to be a kind of like a proper tag team, or is it now just going to be a case of Miz eventually turns on Shane and that's your WrestleMania match? Or I saw it now. I don't know if it was in the Messenger group we saw it. Someone says, "Well, you could always go AJ with Vince in his corner and taking on Miz with Shane in his corner." But I don't think they will. I think they'll go Shane versus Miz. Miz turning on Shane at some point.
I struggle to care with this one.
I mean, I agree. Like, it's not like I care, but I think because the Bar are involved, it's got my attention.
Yes, they always put on good matches. It's never amazing matches, but they're solid enough that they've built up a catalogue of just solid work, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we've only got one difference here. So, by the way, the Royal Rumble, so each of the other matches for this Predictions League that we're going to start again is 1 point apiece for each result, but the Royal Rumble will have 10 points available. A staggering 10, because obviously with 30 people involved, you've got a lot to choose from. So, we'll move on to other men's singles matches and then we'll finish with the Rumble. First off, I've got the WWE title match, AJ Styles versus the Planet's champion, Daniel Bryan. Oh, I can't wait to see these guys lock up once again. I really can't.
Is Daniel Bryan the best promo in the WWE right now?
Right now, absolutely yes.
Gee, that fucking promo he cut on Thursday night. So Thursday night, Tuesday night.
This isn't even
night.
Thursday night.
I know, unbelievable. And at one point, it kind of looked like Vince was legit pissed off with some of the stuff he was saying. The stuff he was saying was just absolutely spot on.
See, at one point, I thought...
Why the fuck do you people cheer Vince?
I know. Exactly. I thought he was going to mention Saudi Arabia. I really did.
That's what he was alluding to.
Mm-hmm. He was saying something about money, and I thought, he's going to say blood money in a minute.
Oh.
And that's on top...
The match alone is going to be sensational.
I mean, the TLC match, the more I think about it, that was probably my main roster match of the year from last year. Probably followed by Evolution match, Charlotte and Becky. But, there is obviously a chemistry there, but they've got that scrap. They're in scrap mode just now. And Daniel Bryan's promo this week was just, again, terrifying. On top of a promo a couple of weeks ago where they're in the concession stands. Oh, he's a man possessed just now. And I think this heel turn's been the best thing for him. Can you see it? Can you see the title changing hands at all?
No.
So you're going for a Daniel Bryan victory?
Yeah, and like I say, what is this now? This will be their fourth match.
Mm-hmm.
They just seem to be getting better and better. Like I said, I feel like the second match was still my favourite out of the three. And this one, the rivalry's getting a bit more intense. It's going to be a great match. Again, I keep talking about what's going to happen coming out of the Royal Rumble. What's going to happen with AJ Styles coming out of the Royal Rumble? I have no idea where his road leads to.
He'll be commentating on 205 Live.
But I need to in one of the groups we were in earlier on, someone says, let me find it. AJ won another opportunity. It's fine. They were referring to that 5-way from, is it New Year's Day or whenever it was?
Because they thought it was a rematch, but it was a one opportunity. Yeah.
So like I say, for me, it's going to be kind of, what do they now do with AJ coming out of this? And I don't want to spoil my pick, but I want to see who they're now going to be who's going to face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
Well,
because in the face of it, there aren't very many credible opponents.
No. I will have an extra question for you for the Men's Royal Rumble. And I suppose we kind of have alluded to it in the Women's Royal Rumble already, but we'll save that. At the end of the day, this will be an excellent match. They'll be tearing lumps out of each other. Daniel Bryan's in the heel form of his life right now. AJ Styles is, as Vince has wanted him to be, a pit bull, so I think it's going to be magic in the ring with this one. Hopefully just a clean, not a clean victory, but a resolute victory for someone. Daniel Bryan perhaps, instead of AJ Styles' many fake finishes that he's had over the last year or so. Now,
sorry, before we continue, I think they're going to do Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. And speaking of Rey Mysterio, they should probably just put Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Almas on Royal Rumble and just have them wrestle the full 4 hours.
Yes, that was another superb outing this week. 2 out of 3 falls match.
Fucking hell. That was unbelievable stuff. And I feel like, see, for the first time these last sort of 5-6 weeks, anyone who didn't know about Almas at NXT are kind of getting a glimpse of just what he is and how great he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a big year for him. I expect him. I'm just going to say, but I think he ultimately beats. I think he's the one that beats Rusev at WrestleMania. I would then love to see Almas versus Mustafa Ali round about SummerSlam time for a US title. Put it on Mustafa Ali. You could then maybe have Almas into the main event scene. And I feel like the next 6 to 12 months for Andrade Almas is going to be special.
Hopefully.
I feel like they kind of realise what they've got with him. But these last two matches with Rey Mysterio have been sensational. And I know you kind of rolled your eyes when I said Mysterio versus Daniel Bryan. Mysterio's full time, Mysterio's older, but Mysterio, as you can see, is still pretty damn fucking good in the ring.
It irks me to see that I have to swallow a handful of bitter pills at the moment, because Mysterio, you said it, he's older, he's not part-time, I'll give him that, he is full-time, but you've got a lot of these new guys that aren't getting the same opportunities that Mysterio's getting, and then he puts on these masterclasses 2 weeks in a row. I mean, what? I've not got a leg to stand on, really, have I?
No, because I would be standing there beating the same drum as you if he came in and he was positioned bang average, poor quality matches, but he's not. Those two matches back to back weeks, unbelievable. And remember, he was involved in a tag team match the prior week as well. So, man, it's just unbelievable from a guy of his age. Like I said, I'm all fine. The guys coming in, older guys, even part time, doesn't bother me. But see if you come in and you produce really good matches, I'm alright. Whatever status you are, whatever age you are, whatever anything.
And also, to be fair, he is putting Almas over. So
yeah.
I try not to get too bogged down with people putting people over and stuff like that. But at the same time, Almas has been very convincing. But see the home run slide under the bottom rope into a sunset flip. Oh dear God!
Dear God!
That was just bonkers, that match. I mean, it's
just a great match.
It's one of those matches where all the GIF Twitter accounts have just got enough material for weeks, but sometimes it is just a case of putting storyline aside and just putting on barn burners, isn't it?
That's it.
It doesn't matter who's face, who's heel, if they're putting on matches like that and you're jumping out of your seat. Mysterio kicking out of hammerlock DDTs, super power bombs, avalanche power bombs, Canadian destroyers. I've forgotten what else. What I've really liked about this and the Ali Samoa Joe feud that's been happening. See, because the Royal Rumble's happening at the moment, understandably so, certain programmes aren't getting pay-per-view time, and I can accept that for what it is.
That's fine.
And it's making,
like I say, it's not a God-given right that you should always be on a pay-per-view. Like, and someone's always going to have to miss out. It's even evident with the NXT Takeover. Like, Adam Cole's not on the card, but he's not been. There's been Takeover where he hasn't been on it. Dream isn't on the card. You know, someone's always going to have to miss out, unfortunately.
Well, Dream's had a few pay-per-views in a row, so from that point of view, I can see they've got a stacked roster. But the thing with Ali and see those homemade videos that Ali does, Jesus, fantastic. But see, that actually ties into what I was going to say. Okay, they aren't getting the pay-per-view matches, but it's making the telly really interesting. The last few weeks of SmackDown, I think, have been excellent across the board, near enough. It feels like that felt like a blow-off feud between Ali and Joe, and it's only been going 2 weeks. That's because of the work that promo, that hype video did at the start. So you're getting these blow-off matches on TV. It's helping boost I don't know if it is boosting ratings, but it's making every week matter, basically. So I've got no problems with them not being on pay-per-views. When it leads up to WrestleMania, we'll see what happens. But these guys are still going to have square off with each other in the Royal Rumble match as well, so I think it ties in quite nicely.
Yep, and there's a couple of feuds like that as well where you're going to get those potential interactions at the Royal Rumble. Like, potentially you could get Becky and Charlotte, Becky and Nia Jax. You could potentially get Ambrose and Rollins. You know, so you're going to get a number of these ones. And just to sort of touch on what you were saying there, like, I'm content with not everyone being on the pay-per-view as long as you kind of get either like a blow off, or you're still getting quality matches and segments on the TV.
Yes.
So like I say, it can go hand in hand. You don't always, like, ideally you'd like one on pay-per-view, but as long as, like I said, you get the blow off on a TV show, I'm fine with that as well.
Yes, sometimes they're I don't know if it's because they're on Raw, it seems as if they stand out more, but now and again you get a good blow-off match on TV and it's all the better for it.
Mm-hmm.
So before we delve deep into the Men's Royal Rumble, there is the matter of Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title match. Lesnar wins, guys. Sorry to let you know.
Fuck Brock.
Well, aye, of course, but I'm just letting you know that's what's happening.
I've allowed myself to be convinced and get carried away by what Rance put out, that Finn wins because Braun comes down and interferes. But I'm kind of now not sure about that after the segment on Monday. That Braun came out and was like, I blame, was it Baron Corbin, I think he said, it's not been the same since, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, that was your opportunity to go after Lesnar, and they didn't. I don't know, they might say he's not ready enough to work a match with Lesnar, but then Lesnar comes down, interferes in that match with Finn and Braun. So maybe that alone could maybe make Braun want to do it. Fuck it, Finn wins because Braun comes down and costs Brock the title. Brock then maybe comes down and eliminates Braun from the Royal Rumble, and there's your WrestleMania match.
If Finn Balor wins, I will not have been more shocked in my now 33 years on this earth. Absolutely nothing against Finn. I like it. He seems to get met with quite a lot of apathy. I like him. I've always enjoyed his work. I think it's probably just because I was quite a big NXT mark for him. I would love it if he won. I'd love it if he was at the top of the company. But WWE's creative, their storytelling team, have conditioned me into believing that no matter the size, it doesn't matter about these stupid arguments that you hear that Finn Balor's too small for him. That's got nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter what size you are, what weight you are. They've conditioned me into believing nobody can beat Brock Lesnar. I know it happened with Roman Reigns, but that was a shenanigan heavy match. So what makes me think something's going to change here? Not much. Because it's happened with AJ, it's happened with Styles, with Bryan. They always talk a good game. Samoa Joe's talked a good game. Braun Strowman's talked a good game. It never amounts to anything. So I'm just sorry to put a dampener on things, but Brock Lesnar's going to retain here. Facts. Right,
so I agree. They have conditioned us to believe that Brock is invincible, pretty much. And I know a lot of people are saying, why should we believe that Finn is capable of beating Brock when bigger and better guys, we want to say, haven't been able to beat him? First of all, it's fake, right? So,
that holds no weight for me, that argument at all.
Right, so how about this then? Manny Pacquiao started off at like strawweight, came up through divisions and was literally, and I mean beating the holy hell out of guys who were bigger and stronger and weighed more than him. But he was putting a fucking beating on him. He effectively retired a guy called Antonio Margarito, and Margarito at one point was like the biggest badass you'll come across in boxing. Mayweather turned round, and I don't know if this was like just him being just try to chum up to Margarito, but turned round to Margarito in a video and was like, no, I don't want any part of this, don't want any part of you. And we laud Mayweather for being this great boxer. So there's Pacquiao, right? Roy Jones moved up from like middleweight or super middleweight up to heavyweight division and beat, people can turn around, and I know you're not a boxing guy, but he beat a guy called John Ruiz, and John Ruiz at the time was probably the weakest heavyweight boxing champ it was at that point, at that moment in time in that division. But he still beat a bona fide heavyweight guy at his weight class, way above what he was naturally walking around at. So you've got, and then you move over, if you want to move over to MMA, Royce Gracie was beating guys sort of like bigger and badder than him. Like, there's evidence in quote unquote actual real fighting, like actual combat sports, that smaller guys do come up and beat people up that are bigger than them. Mayweather as well is another example. Mayweather started off at like, was it featherweight or super featherweight, and moved up and was beating guys bigger than him. He beat Canelo, and you can say what you want. Canelo at the time isn't what he is now, we know that, but he would still beat a guy who's bigger and stronger than him. So I can understand it when people turn around and say, I don't get it when people can turn around and be like, well, how can Finn pose a threat? Are we supposed to believe he does? Like the old school guys, get your guys like Cornette might come out with stuff like that, and it's like, well, motherfuckers, look at the actual real combat sports taking place, and you'll see it actually can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, Pacquiao and Mayweather, like I say, they started off at like 9 stone. Mayweather might have been a featherweight or super featherweight. I can't remember which one it was. And Pacquiao was further down, and they literally made their way through the entire like 7 or 8 weight divisions above them, and were just blitzing people. Especially Pacquiao at one point was just knocking everybody out.
Aye.
So it can happen.
Of course, it can happen.
It has happened. It will continue to happen. I also don't like to use the argument like I said a minute ago that it's fake. So do we really need to? I would still like a sense of realism about it.
And you've backed
but like
that up with
for
what
me,
you've said there.
I've witnessed it in boxing and in MMA, where I know it doesn't matter who's taking on Brock, even though we're conditioned to believe that Brock is unbeatable. But I'm sorry. But so were a lot of these people that Mayweather and Gracie and Pacquiao and Roy Jones, etc., all beat.
Yep.
It can happen.
Of course it can happen. And that's why I don't... It's just when people say he's too small, just have a listen to what you're saying.
I think what people need to put that in context, too small in comparison to what? Because Finn's looks about 6 foot. I wouldn't say that's small. Yeah, he might only weigh about 200 pounds, but that's not like, if you compare that to your average dude walking in the street, he's a mountain, he's a machine. Now, if he's too small in comparison to Brock, I get it. I get where people are coming from that, but like I say, there's evidence in boxing and in MMA that the smaller guy, quote unquote smaller guy, who people say is too small to beat the bigger guy, does ultimately beat him.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
I blame, to be honest, I blame Rance for my prediction pick.
Hashtag.
I never thought for a second that Finn had a chance until he presented that argument, and I know Rich wrote a column about it as well. And it's like, it's actually kind of good, and it could actually happen.
So
and I've kind of just ran with it.
If I end up taking an early lead in this predictions league, then you can blame Rance.
Oh, without a doubt, he will get full blame.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be over the moon to hear this.
Rance doesn't even like me anyway.
Would you stop with that? Right.
I just want to be loved.
I know. Right, this is a question I want to ask you for the Men's Royal Rumble. Who do you think will win it? And who do you want to win it, and what kind of programme do you want to see leading up to Mania? So will we get the predictions out the way first?
Seth.
Okay. The architect.
Yes, Seth Rollins. I feel like that's an obvious answer, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, is it too obvious now? But like we say, sometimes when something's sitting there staring at you in the face, like, just go with it. It's the right thing to do.
Yep.
So I'll say Seth. Who do I want to win it? Seth is still up there.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre. I love Mustafa Ali, but we had that conversation earlier on the guys from the Edge on WhatsApp, and Carl presented it a proper way, like just keep building up Mustafa Ali and bring him into the main event scene next year, which I'm on board for that. I would love to see someone like Andrade Almas win it. Like Mustafa Ali for me is kind of a dark horse, not so much to win it, but I think a dark horse to I feel like he's going to put on a show.
Be close.
I think he'll get to like final 6 or so.
Right.
I feel like they'll want to show him off a little bit. I feel like I expect Cena to go deep as well.
Oh, that's what Nikki Bella said.
Yep, she still does because they've not broke up. My final 4, I says it. I think it's Seth, Dean, Drew, and Cena. I would love the final 2 to be Seth and Dean.
Yes, I would be on board for that one. I think I'd like that.
I would love that, actually. I think that would be really, really good. I feel like they're probably going to go Seth and Drew, and I love Drew, but I would love it if it was Seth and Dean.
See, there's a possibility as well of... They did it last year with Asuka moving from Raw to SmackDown. Could we see someone from Raw actually move over to SmackDown in the men's side?
I don't think so.
To take on Daniel Bryan?
It could happen, but I think it's more realistic. Certainly what we believe and what we think is going to happen, it's going to be Seth and Brock.
I think...
But that's what a lot of people think. I think it's Seth anyway challenging the Raw champion.
Right. I really don't have a clue what to do with this one.
You know what I would love to see?
What?
Seth in at 1 or 2.
Have an Iron Man performance.
Yup. Or even 3 or 4, just very, very, very early in the Rumble.
I think it was Omega Luke had said put Almas and Mysterio in at 1 and 2.
And then just have did he not say have the rest of the 28 just sit at ringside watching?
I don't know, but that's...
I saw someone, I don't know who tweeted that, but someone's tweeted out saying have Almas and Mysterio start and then just have the rest of the 28 just pull up chairs at ringside and just watch.
And wave their hands in appreciation like the Queen.
I feel like 1 and 2 there'll be a reason why they've put number 1 and 2 together. So it could be like Almas and Mysterio, like some sort of storyline. It could always be Seth and Dean. That could be the starting 2 and potentially the finishing 2. And just before, I don't think you will ask it. Roman Reigns isn't going to be there, all right?
No.
Let's just get that out of the way. I've saw people putting that around, and there's articles written he could be a dark horse winner, but no.
Oh, God's sake.
Just no. As much as, and I know we're going to go off top here, but as much as I love people just randomly coming back, the Roman Reigns return is going to be advertised.
Probably. Aye, they wouldn't...
Because they are wanting eyes on that from everywhere.
Yeah, that's going to be advertised in advance. Even if it's just an appearance, a promo or something to see how he's getting on and stuff like that. But I think it comes down... First, another definite, Randy Orton won't win the Rumble. I admit what happened at the end of SmackDown this week was interesting. Samoa Joe had a very good week. Breaking up the...
Ended on a bad note,
but it still had an impact. And the camera work was on point.
Can I quickly ask you then, since you brought him up?
Mm-hmm.
Could you get behind a Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton match at WrestleMania?
No.
I don't know how I would feel about it.
I would lose interest quickly.
I wouldn't want to see it because I'd rather see Daniel Bryan versus like someone like Rey Mysterio or someone. But yeah, I probably would. I would hate it actually. I would.
There's already a dinosaur in one of the men's championship matches, so I don't want to see another one. No thanks to Randy Orton. He's mildly, very mildly entertaining. The RKO out of nowhere this week, coupled with the camera work, I got a fright when he came out of nowhere this week. I thought, oh, how did that happen? Excellently done. But it's not happening.
Can I just throw out another dark horse? Not to win it. Bray Wyatt.
Just to appear.
Oh, Bray.
You know the boogeyman's appearing, don't you?
Oh, Bray.
Let me think. Right, I need to pick something because I'll be here forever. Right, we've not got... There's too many similar ones for us.
But I feel like some of the matches we've got the same thinking, and they're kind of, I wouldn't say obvious who's going to win it, but there's a couple of matches that you feel like there's overwhelming favourites going into that match.
I think Seth Rollins, I'm going to go with Seth, right? But I think Drew McIntyre's going to run him very, very close. Maybe a contentious finish. Not so much that it gets resolved later on, but it gets resolved that night, or Drew McIntyre's got a bee in his bonnet or something, and doesn't, I don't know, but I think Drew will run very close.
What you could do is, you could do Cena Batista again, and this time Vince comes down,
smashes his quads apart,
and still blows both quads out.
God damn it, pal. That was hilarious. That's one of your favourite moments in wrestling, isn't it?
Really, I was just seeing him sitting on the floor, throwing his like a little child.
I know.
That's fun. But I feel like Seth, like I say, it seems obvious, but yeah, I'd be surprised if it was still someone else though. Like he seems to be picking up a lot of momentum recently.
Yeah.
Especially his promo stuff. I'm
going to go for Seth. What I want to see, and I know there was a well fleshed out conversation off air, but just it's not. I mean, I know Ali's just getting used to the SmackDown crowd. I've been a fan of Ali since the very beginning of 205 Live, so I've watched him. I've watched his journey, and for me, if he was to win, we saw that promo that he had with Daniel Bryan, the small program he had with Daniel Bryan. I saw these homemade promos that he's doing. Can you just imagine, I'd put this on Twitter earlier, imagine the hype video if you coupled Ali's homemade shot videos with Daniel Bryan's mentalness at the moment, put them together in a hype video, and you would that hype video alone would get you really pumped for that match, and you could get sympathy for Ali over the weeks. Like say Bryan just destroys him and he's off telly for a few weeks or something like that, but then you bring him in and you start working towards winning. I want to see Ali win the Rumble. I'm throwing my name in the hat now, and I want to see him win. And he'll choose Brock Lesnar and beat Brock Lesnar.
I wouldn't hate him winning at all.
Oh, not at all.
One bit. Do you think anyone from NXT appears?
Oh, Velveteen Dream.
I was going to ask you about him. What do you make of what he's been doing?
The Twitter
stuff?
Do
you think it's a work? Do you think it's leading to a storyline? Do you think?
I don't think it's leading to a storyline as such. I just think it's him being a wee bit cheeky, like he is with his attire, his entrance attires and stuff like that. I think he's just trying to get a bit of attention. So I think I'm not worried about his NXT career per se.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't read too much into what he's doing on Twitter just now. So, but I do think he'll appear at the Rumble, even if it's just for a pop. Rumours
that Sammy, I don't know, we don't deal in rumours, but I think he was at Performance Centre a few weeks back. Any chance we might see Sammy and KO?
Not yet.
I think it's too early as well.
I think that's a Raw after Mania number.
Yeah, potentially.
For one of the super pops at Raw after Mania.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much going on just now for them to come back and be treated with the
way they should be.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Because Sami Zayn is pound for pound as good as anybody in the world.
So no, it's not the right time to bring them back. So just wait a while with that one. So. Velveteen Dream, I think we'll see someone from the NXT UK. Maybe a wee Pete Dunne appearance might go down well.
What about Trent 7 coming in at 7?
See if he just comes down and hits out with some banter, I'd be fine with that.
I think we will see. I think all in all, between both the women and the men's matches, I think we'll probably see about 5 all in coming in from various, whether it's NXT UK or NXT Florida.
Mm-hmm. They'll get some good representation. Should be fun. I watched the Royal Rumble 04 during the week, and I have said to you in the past that the gimmick of the Royal Rumble's nowhere near my favourite. It's just it's an hour of
it's an hour of like one or two random little pops, but ultimately we're all kind of waiting for that last 5 minutes.
It's group hugs and rope hugging and lots of stomping mud holes and punches in the corner. It's just, there's actually not that much going on in them, and I don't know if I picked a bad Rumble. It could have been that. Maybe that's why WWE decided to erase that from their history books, I don't know. But it's just as it happens, I'm sure it will be alright. Just see what goes on. But overall, I mean, the match is out with the Royal Rumble. It's a very strong card, so I don't think I'll be left wanting at the end of the night or the end of the day when I've watched it.
I think overall hype level for the entire weekend is extremely high.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I kind of decided, like I said before, I'm just going to go into each pay-per-view weekend or pay-per-view itself and just kind of have my hopes high.
And look where that got you towards the tail end of last year.
But I wasn't exactly like hyped about every single show. I wasn't like allowing myself to get carried away at times. I was kind of being pessimistic at times.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll try and, like I said, but for me, like, I don't think there's any reason to be pessimistic about this coming weekend.
No, there's a lot to be excited about all over the place.
An awful lot. The potential, there's only really one match that you could probably say about the entire weekend that you don't really care about.
Riddle and Ono.
Sorry?
Riddle and Ono.
Oh, the SmackDown Tag Team title match.
Aye, that as well. I mean, I'm
sure that'll be a fine match.
I'm even looking
great.
forward
I'm sure it'll
to
be just fine.
They've got all the fringe shows having an access tournament. I'm sure that. Mm-hmm. I hope that is that going to be on the network at some point.
Not sure.
I'm not going to go out my way to watch that. I'll catch it when I can, but that's good. Worlds collide, something a bit different.
Yep.
So just lovely wrestling on offer this weekend, ladies and gents.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy the blue hell out of it, and while you're at it, before you go, enjoy the blue hell out of this. I assume Royal Rumble themed, Ricky?
No.
Oh shit! Enjoy the hell out of this.
It is.
Good, because I've already written the show notes. Enjoy the hell out of this Royal Rumble themed quiz.
It's fucking quiz time with Ricky and Clive and friends. A fucking WWE quiz.
Okay,
right.
Hit me.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Question number 1. At the 2010 Royal Rumble, Christian defeated who to retain his ECW title?
Ooh. It's two possibilities. It's either Shelton Benjamin or Jack Swagger. I'll go for Jack Swagger.
Wrong.
Who was it?
Do you want to take another guess? I'll give you one more guess. And it wasn't Shelton Benjamin either.
I've not got a Scooby-Doo then.
Ezekiel Jackson.
You just made that name up.
No, it didn't. Question number 2. Sheamus eliminated who to win a 2012 Royal Rumble?
Jericho?
Correct. Question number 3. In the 2012 Royal Rumble, what was the role of John Laurinaitis in the CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler match?
2012. What was Laurinaitis doing in the game? I'm just going to say special guest enforcer.
Oh, well done.
Oh, excellent.
That's very well done, actually. Question number 4. In a 2016 SmackDown Tag Team match, which 2 members of the New Day took on the Usos?
Fuck's sake, Ricky. I'm going to say Big E and Kofi Kingston.
Correct.
Do you know why? Because they wasted about fucking 9-10 months with Xavier playing the trombone when he's probably the best out of the 3 of them in the ring.
Question number 5. Who made his debut in the 1993 Royal Rumble by throwing out The Undertaker?
1993.
I'll give you a clue, right?
Please.
He had fake abs.
Oh, Giant Gonzalez.
And that god-awful onesie.
Aye, that onesie was hilarious.
There was a guy who was on Celebrity Big Brother. I know I never watched it, but I saw it in the papers or the internet that he basically had surgery to give himself abs.
Jesus Christ.
I can't remember this idiot's name.
Is it Tony Nese?
Question number 6. In which year did Taz make his debut?
Oh, I remember this well, Mr. Ricky. He made his debut with an illegal win against my Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, at Royal Rumble 2000.
Yes. Question number 7. In the Alberto Del Rio Big Show World Heavyweight title match at 2013, what was the stipulation?
Last man standing.
Correct. Question number 8. Who has been the runner-up in Royal Rumbles the most times?
Oh, for God's
sake. And with how many?
Oh, right. I'm going to say the Big Show with 2.
Wrong. I'll give you one more guess.
I'm going to stick with the Big Show.
I just said wrong. It's completely wrong. None of it was right. So that implies it's probably more than 2.
Kane with 4.
No, it's Roman with 3.
Really?
14, 17 and 18.
That's right. I just went blank with 18 there.
In the 1991 Royal Rumble, what was unique about Randy Savage's Royal Rumble outing?
I can't give you a one-word answer for this.
It's fine. I'm not expecting a one-word answer.
Is it something to do with that he didn't know how the rules worked, and then he only realised how the rules worked during the match?
No, he cost the Ultimate Warrior the title against Sergeant Slaughter, and because of that, he no-showed in the Royal Rumble. He left the arena.
Alright, I don't know what I'm talking. I'm sure that happened though at another. Maybe I'm talking shit.
That sounds like an R-Truth kind of thing. Oh man, I can't believe he's coming out at number 30 on Sunday.
Oh, I know, it's such a waste, isn't it?
Oh, it ruins it.
Poor R-Truth.
Right.
We just totally buried R-Truth there.
I love R-Truth. I think he's absolutely hilarious.
I know, but not for number.
It's not so much it's him as the fact that it's been revealed already.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. Last question, number 10. In order, if you want to go highest to least or whatever you want, who has name the top 5 people with most eliminations in a single Royal Rumble?
Kane.
So wait, remember you're going from most, least to highest, or fewest to highest, whatever you want.
Right, I'll go with highest then. Roman, Kane.
Mm-hmm. So there's 5 individuals, right?
Mysterio.
So number 3 and 4 are tied for the same amount.
Okay, I'll go with Mysterio and Benoit then.
Nope. So I'm going to give you 3 guesses, right? So it's neither of them.
Michaels.
Where is he? Is he 3, 4 or 5?
4.
Nope.
5.
Yep.
Number 4 is Austin.
Yep.
Oh, number 3 is...
Remember, 3 and 4 were joint.
Cena.
Nope. So last guess. Do you want a clue?
Yes, please.
He is one racist motherfucker.
Hulky boy.
Yes. You know, I could have said you got it wrong because I did say in a Royal Rumble, and technically Braun eliminated 13 at the Greatest Royal Rumble, but I wasn't including that. That's not a real Royal Rumble.
Oh, so straight to the point. That's not a real Rumble.
Well, it's not. He won that stupid green belt.
I know. That
WBC rip-off belt. That doesn't mean anything to you, but still.
I'm going to guess what it is. Is that the welterweight boxing championship?
No, well, yeah. No.
Okay, never mind. Let's move very swiftly on. Anything you want to plug before we vanish?
Nothing. Just enjoy Sunday. That's all.
Or whenever you get to watch the plethora of hours of TV that the WWE has on offer for us. We are the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network, where you can also find One Nation Radio, Keeping It Strong Style, Grown Men Watch This Shit, Outsider's Edge, Wilfred Watches, and the Omega Look Podcast. Please go to the app that you use, give us 5 stars, help us move up the ratings. At Ricky and Clive on Twitter and Facebook. Check out the Wrestling Square Circle Facebook group. Go to socialsuplex.com for all your links, all your podcasts and columns. You can get them direct to your inbox if you subscribe. Don't forget Pro Wrestling Tees. Check out the Social Suplex page. I've got a link in the show notes. I also have a link for the powerslam.tv. Put in the promo code Social Suplex. 4,000 hours of independent wrestling. Free first month. That's it, isn't it?
I want to say certainly one quick thing. I was going to say 2, but the second thing has completely skipped my mind.
Okay.
I wanted to give a shout out to, you can follow him on Twitter, and it's at Mags and Bags. He brought out a new podcast, Dan his name is, and you can download that and listen to it. It's called Why We Watch Pod. I feel like we should be giving him a shout out because he does so much for us on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
So, folks, you should go listen to that. He's a good guy. He's a real good guy.
It's on the Visionaries Wrestling Network, so check out, look for that, and then find the Why We Watch on there.
And like I said, he's actually changed his Twitter, but his Twitter is at DAJ Kirkby, so it's KIRKBY.
Mm-hmm.
Like I says, he listens to us every single week, constantly interacts with us on Twitter, and he's a real good guy. So, and he'll hopefully be coming on one day. And in terms of the upcoming quiz, we're just tying up a few loose ends, and we'll hopefully get a few more details out there in the next week or so.
Yep. We wish Mags and Bags and Mike Arendt all the success in the world for their new venture.
A long and happy relationship with each other. The complete opposite of Ricky and Clive's relationship.
Well, speaking of...
we're okay, we got on well.
Speaking of fragile relationships, I've got some more information on Sasha Banks wanting to leave WWE and move to AEW. So she actually went to the headquarters, wherever they are, and had a meeting with Amir Khan. No, that's that boxer, isn't it? Tony Khan.
I didn't know if that was a punchline or not.
No, what's his name? Tony Khan. Is it Tony?
Tony Khan is Shad Khan.
Amir Khan's an English boxer.
Yep.
And Sasha was saying, first of all, okay, it's all about opportunity, but I'm just a bit concerned about the money that I'll have. And they said, Tony can, not Tommy or Amir said, right, if you're that worried about your wages, show me your bank statement. So she locked it in, and then security came and took her away.
Thank you for listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.